Have you decided on the property you want to purchase but are scared to be blindsided by next steps in the buying process? Do you feel like you simply don't know what to do next and would like some guidance? No need to stress. In this video, I'll go through the 6 crucial points of an offer. Make sure you'll stay with me until the end of this video, where I'll be talking about what happens after you make your offer. Hello, if we haven't met before, my name is Paula Conrad and I'm an award-winning real estate broker in Waterloo region specializing in helping young professionals with their real estate needs. If you followed my advice from my previous video, my top 5 tips on making your property search the most rewarding experience, you now have a property you are ready to put an offer on. So what are the big 6 points in the offer? Number 1, you will need to decide on the price you want to offer. This is probably the most important step in the offer preparation. Very rarely anything else trumps the price. Make sure your price is competitive if you are competing. If you are not competing, make sure it's market appropriate. It's kind of your first impression with sellers, so make sure to do some research on pricing and offer something within reason while trying to get the best deal possible. Also, don't forget to work within your own budget. Don't overextend yourself. Number 2, once you've decided on your price, decide on your closing. You may need to have some flexibility with your closing date, but it is important to have a clear understanding on what date would work best for you. Figure out things like moving, for instance. Can you manage moving from one place to the other on the same day? Or will you need an extra day in between? If you are also selling your own property, find out your mortgage bridging costs. If you are renting, figure out your exact move-out date and give appropriate notice to your landlord. Normally it is 2 full months, so even if you give notice, say July 15th, you will need to count your 2 full months starting on the 1st of the next month. You may have some flexibility with your landlord, so it might be worth researching further. You may have your ideal closing date, but again, it does not mean that date will work for the sellers, so try to have a backup plan in case sellers simply cannot accommodate your date. So things like alternative place to stay, storage, etc. Number 3, what conditions do you need or want in your offer? It all depends on the property you're making an offer on and the market you're in. If the market is super competitive and your offer is not the only one, your chances of having an offer accepted with conditions will be slim to none. If that happens, don't get scared. Figure out the way to address any concerns you might have before making an offer. If you are worried about your financing, talk to your mortgage broker and make sure your approval is solid. If you are concerned about inspection, do a pre-inspection appointment. If the market is easier for buyers and you are not competing, then having conditions won't hurt your chances of getting the property. But remember, conditions are not your free-for-all, get-out-of-jail card. You are still committing to the purchase of a property and you are required to act in good faith. If, for example, your inspection shows issues, then you should be open to working with the seller to resolve them. Financing should also be in order. One condition that cannot be avoided is review of the condominium status if you are purchasing a condominium. In the height of seller's market, sometimes listings had those available for review way ahead of offer presentation date, so potential buyers had time to have their lawyers review them. But it is important that lawyers review them before you waive that condition. Number 4, what do you want to be included with the purchase of your property? Make sure that all chattels that should come with the property are listed in the offer. There might be things that you would like despite them not being listed in the listing, and you might be able to negotiate those in. You will also need to specify the exclusions. Those are usually listed by sellers, but you might have some requests on specific things that you would like to be removed. Another important item here is finding out what are the current rental items. Most likely you will have to take them on. Very often we see things like water heater to be a rental, but sometimes you will see things like water softener, alarm system, and even AC. So make sure you are aware of those, and if you prefer, find out if the seller is willing to buy those out, or if they are not, find out the cost for buying them out. Number 5, deposit. Sellers usually specify the amount of deposit they require. Once the offer is accepted, you are obligated to deliver the deposit within 24 hours of acceptance of your offer. So make sure you know the amount required and you are able to provide that amount in that time frame. Number 6, have a clear understanding of the irrevocable time. Usually sellers specify how much time they need to review and respond to the offer, but it is important to understand the timeline. So you made your offer, now what? Now there are 3 things that can happen. 1, your offer is accepted. Congratulations, you bought a property. 2, your offer gets a sign back. That means the seller wants to renegotiate your original terms. 3, you receive no response. That means the seller did not like your offer at all. Now you need to start the process over. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of an offer making process. Thank you very much for joining me today. Hit the subscribe button below to be up to date with all the real estate topics. And feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any real estate related questions. I'm here to help.